All right, welcome on in to an NFL Nightcap recap, a Week 8 edition. And who better to join us on a day when the Jets get off the schneid than a good friend of mine, longtime colleague. You know him as Boy Green. He's Paul Esden Jr. of Heavy Sports, but even more importantly than that, from the Boy Green Daily Show, Paul Esden joins me. Paul, how you doing, my friend?
I got to pinch myself. I don't know if I'm in the right time zone here. I'm here late at night. I'm normally a morning guy, but you got to be versatile in this business. So appreciate the late night raven to the window, tap tap, and here I am, baby. It's beautiful.
No doubt. And we're sipping on some Captain Morgan over here. So if you've joined us in the chat, let us know what you're sipping on to celebrate a wild day across the NFL. Paul hosts a great show on YouTube, Boy Green Daily. We're going to talk some Jets a little bit later on here. But since August, Paul and I have been talking Jets on Sunday morning. So I've been reverse osmosis, waking up early as a morning person with Paul. Let's start with the game we just saw on NBC. I think it's a statement win for the Packers. It's against a fellow division leader. He had all the drama, all the buildup going into it of Aaron Rodgers against his former team for the first time. Is Jordan Love going to be able to match wits? And, it's Tucker Kraft who steals the show. Tucker Kraft goes off, 7 catches, 143, 2 scores. He now has, Paul, he had 131 yards after the catch in tonight's game, and he entered tonight averaging 9.1 yards after the catch, was almost 2 yards after the catch more than Tyler Warren, who is second. How impressive was what you saw from Tucker Kraft, and how big of a win is this for the Packers?
It's better but to be lucky than good. And Green Bay is both. So they're really good and they get lucky. Jordan Love, was exceptional tonight, but to the Tucker Kraft element, right? Jordan Love's getting pressure. He just throws it up there. And then Tucker Kraft, it's almost backyard football. You draw it in the dirt and say, hey, I'm just going to sort of throw it up and you're just going to find it, pal, and make some plays. I mean, Tucker Kraft, they were talking about some of his story on Sunday Night Football, his origin story. I mean, he's a gamer, man, and he refuses to go down on first contact. He has this toughness for the tight end position, which is refreshing in the National Football League. So, yeah, Tucker was exciting. That yak ability is fun. We always talk about wide receivers and Josh Jacobs in the backfield's a lot of fun. But, man, Tucker Kraft is that secret sauce for this Green Bay Packers offense. Go, Pack, go. Well, we know what makes a Pack go, 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 and it is gosh darn Tucker Kraft exceptional this evening.
I wrote about it in the column that he is the blueprint for that Packers offense. I mean, you get Christian Watson back, a big move, a big deal, 83 yards receiving for Christian Watson. And you look at, they tried to run the ball. It was effective at times, but not really. But the real catalyst and the real consistency for them was Tucker Kraft, the yards after the catch, the big playability. You talk about George Kittle, you talk about Travis Kelce, Dallas Goedert, all these guys. Tucker Kraft belongs in that conversation. He plays like it each and every week. And Micah Parsons tonight, it was kind of quiet throughout most of the evening, but when the Steelers had an opening late, they started to move Micah into that off-ball linebacker spot that he played some at Penn State, did a little bit at Dallas before moving back off the edge. And he was just a game wrecker. He had the sack. He forced the incompletion where he nearly stripped it from Aaron Rodgers. And you just look at the Packers. They got Kraft on offense. They got a franchise quarterback in Jordan Love. They have Micah Parsons. Trade deadline is coming up. Maybe you go shopping for running back depth. Maybe you go shopping for a receiver. But, the way Micah is playing and you're getting more out of Rashawn Gary, you're getting more out of Lucas Van Ness, Green Bay feels like they're suddenly one of the more complete teams out there.
I think they deserve a lot of credit for the creativity. Jeff Hafley taking a college football coach and Jeff Hafley at Boston College, and that was one of the big surprises. But it seems like we're getting surprises all over college football with a lot of the decisions happening all over place. But again, that was a move that was surprising at the time, but it's sort of gone under the radar in terms of people just talking about it and circling it as one of those moves. And then, of course, obviously the boldness and sexiness. We're talking about the NFL trade deadline on Tuesday, November 4th. They made the biggest trade that we're going to be talking about, Herschel Walker style, I imagine, for a long time. And it's Micah Parsons. And he just has a uniqueness. He brings a little bit of, and it reminds me of Myles Garrett, who also had a crazy day.
Yeah.
But
Dude, 5 sacks. Yeah, 5 sacks today, Myles Garrett.
and
Unbelievable.
thrown out. And so, but hey, a quick aside here, and then we'll get back here to Micah Parsons. Like, I'm not gonna feel bad. I saw the memes, right, where you have like the trailer park house, and then it has like the little protection for the car, and the car's a Ferrari back there. And like, I look at Miles Garrett wasting his career there. Hey, Miles Garrett is the one that signed the deal,
Yeah.
okay? Be with Cleveland. He had the chance. He was hovering over the eject button. He could have hit it and forced his way out. He joined the Rich Eisen show and all these other shows in the Super Bowl saying, hey, this is more than money. This is about going to a winning organization. And he's like, oh, wait, how much? All right, I'm in Cleveland. So once you do that, you forego your right to complain. So, hey, Miles, keep killing it. And you're going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That's not too far from Cleveland. You should be just dandy. But I'm not going to feel bad for Miles being on a terrible team. He's the one who signed on the dotted line. But on Micah,
He could have taken the Micah route. He could have, if he wanted out. I mean, Micah Parsons forced the issue. Let's not forget about that. I mean, it was all of the drama on Jerry Jones's side, how unethically and borderline illegally they handled the contract talks. But Micah Parsons, to his credit and to his agent David Muguletta's credit, they played their hand the right way. They got out of there, and they wind up getting traded to a Packers situation where you brought up the Herschel Walker type of trade. It's a Reggie White potential caliber impact on the Green Bay Packers as White was back in the 1990s. Scott checks in. Jordan showed A-Rod that he is the man. Can't argue with that. I mean, you talk about 21 straight completions for Jordan Love tonight. We talk about Tucker Kraft. We talk about Micah Parsons. Jordan Love rose to the moment tonight and has really multiple times throughout the course of this season.
And sorry, Jordan, apparently trying to get the jersey swap with Aaron Rodgers after Aaron declined. So that was a little awkward after, but maybe they have some other meeting to come. I mean, if I was Aaron, I'd be trying to get rid of that jersey. That was the most hideous jersey. I'd be like, oh, you want it, Jordan? Excellent. Here, take it. It's disgusting, and we just lost it. So that can't be a good positive sign anyway. Those jerseys were hideous. Good Lord have mercy. Wow.
Terrible, terrible. I'm going to twist your arm a little bit here, and I appreciate the flexibility jumping on here the last minute. Paul and I text all the time, and I was like, hey, you want to jump on and do a nightcap recap? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. Why not? You didn't prepare for this, but I'm going to throw you the question anyway.
Yeah.
Who's the best team in the NFL right now? Because you can make a case for the Indianapolis Colts. You can throw the Packers into that conversation. The Detroit Lions might be the class of the bunch right now. Denver played its way into the conversation. New England is floating around. We talk about parity. Even the Eagles, after the way they won today and the win last week on the road, throw Philadelphia in there. But if you're putting together the power rankings tomorrow, who's sitting atop the list?
Well, I had an easy answer, and then the more you just sort of like said, well, there's some of this and some of this.
You know, that's what I do. You know me well enough to know that's what I do.
Which is good. So I would just say on Green Bay real quick, as for any of the Packers fans that are in the audience, they've just had sort of an extremist season. To lose to Cleveland, who we were just making fun of, to they should have lost to the Cowboys. Jordan Love held the ball way too long at the end of overtime, and time should have expired, and thus it would have been a loss instead of feeling somewhat better about it with a tie. It's like kissing your sister a little bit weird, but hey, different strokes, different folks. So that extremist is, I see all the massive wins for Green Bay. Again, taking out Detroit week 1, we totally all overreacted to that. It just Pittsburgh has performed very well this season, but I still get the, I want to check under the bed for the boogeyman on the Cleveland loss and the Cowboys tie. That still gives me too many heebie-jeebies. That does not
the weird stretches in Arizona and against Cincinnati. This was really the first time all year going back to week 1 and that big win over the Lions. Tonight was the first time that they stomped on an opponent's throat and kept it there.
Yeah, exactamundo. They scored outside of that final drive, which you don't want to count. They just ran out the clock. They scored 5 straight times in the second half. I mean, again, that was the foot on the throat that we saw earlier. So the team I'm going to go with was my gut choice to begin. It's Indianapolis. They're 7. The best record in football. Their only loss, you could argue they should have won. Adonai Mitchell had those 2 back-breaking mistakes, the fumble out of the back of the end zone, which would have been a touchdown, or Jonathan Taylor spinning highlight reel 60-yard touchdown with 2 minutes left in that game, got called back for a bad holding call. Not a bad holding guy. I mean, Adonai did hold the guy, but if he didn't those things. Colts win that game. They're the only undefeated team in football, as opposed to no team being undefeated in football. And the things that I love about Indianapolis, besides they have the best record, they have a great point differential. They blow teams out. So you love to see the point differential. Daniel Jones, Indiana Jones playing out of his mind. Jonathan Taylor's an MVP candidate. I love what they're doing defensively. Lou Anarumo is, another one of those coordinator changes that we don't talk about. Got run out of Cincinnati, rekindles his flame here in Indy. Shane Steichen, former Eagles guy, and you see what they're able to do. A lot of hot seat questions for Indy before this season started. I mean, man, the Colts record, point differential, they just pass every eye test for me. And again, I still think there's going to be people in the universe go, Indy? Daniel Jones? And they're going to have all these things that's very difficult for them to get over. But get over it, people. They're the best team in football right now.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I think that we have to take a real hard look at the Patriots' schedule because there's going to be an opportunity there. And Drake May continues to get better every week. We're going to touch on May in a couple minutes here. And another big win for Indianapolis. That train just keeps moving, or for New England, rather. That just train just keeps moving along. But I'm with you on the Colts. It's the best point differential in football. They blow people out. There's a real chance that if this continues, we're going to look up in January and you're going to have Daniel Jones MVP talk, and there's going to be Jonathan Taylor Offensive Player of the Year talk as well. And I think that that's a testament to what Taylor does each and every week. I mean, he's well on his way to leading the league in rushing. And what I really like about what they do, Paul, is 1 week it's Tyler Warren getting 9 targets and catching 7 of them for a touchdown. The next week they're going to air it out to Michael Pittman. The next week they're going to ground and pound and just lean on Jonathan Taylor and run him down your throat 38 times a game. It's really situationally and opponent dictated, that scheme, and they're executing at a really high level. And they did it again today. And it's just, I was sitting around having beers with the neighbors the other day, and one of my neighbors' wives asked, hey, who's your Super Bowl pick? And I instinctively went to Kansas City on that side of the bracket because you have Patrick Mahomes, because Rashee Rice is back, because they have their full complement of weapons. And they're running the ball well again. And the defense is the defense for Steve Spagnuolo. And the Chiefs are the Chiefs. Let's be real. In January, they're going to play their best football. But you look at it, you forget about the Colts because it's Indianapolis, but nobody in the league is playing a more complete or dominant brand of football right now than Indianapolis is.
And man, are we about to get back-to-back seasons where we're able to make fun of the Giants, right? So Saquon,
Right.
his Eagles win the Super Bowl. Saquon Barkley has the greatest individual running back season we've ever seen. A year later, Giants go, Daniel Jones sucks. He gets cut, goes to Minnesota, ends up in Indianapolis. Wait a second, he doesn't suck. He's amazing. And they win the Super Bowl. And then maybe Indiana Jones is the Super Bowl MVP. And the Giants go, wait a second, we had both of those guys on the team, and they leave and in back-to-back years win the whole thing. Oh boy, that may be a big, tough pill for the people in Big Blue to swallow. There were Brian Dable and Joe Shane. Yikes.
Noticing the Jets jersey, they're going to be no love lost or no tears shed if that becomes the narrative this offseason from Paul. You know, and I wrote about this in the column today. One of the more fun games to watch was Denver and the Cowboys. And I thought Dallas would do a little bit more offensively on that defense, and they failed that test. So let's just be real. Great first drive on the short field, but that was the high watermark the rest of the way. And the young talent that they've assembled in Denver, it's really become a bit of a stampede. Today was R.J. Harvey with the 3 total touchdowns. You had Pat White bring down a touchdown. Troy Franklin, a touchdown. 3 guys who were drafted within the last 2 years who have become the centerpieces of that offense. But Bo Nix continues to tear it up out there. 247 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. I don't know that we've elevated the Broncos into that conversation of the best team in the league, but they're one of those teams that continues to find ways to win, whether it's blowout fashion today, surviving late, coming back, beating the Giants, making the Giants a punchline. But you think about the young quarterbacks on that side of the bracket with Drake May playing well, Bo Nix playing well, the experience in Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert tearing it up, and Daniel Jones bursting onto the scene. Looking down the line, that's going to be a fun side of the bracket come playoff time if these quarterbacks keep rising to the moment.
There's no question, and I will just say this just for the straight up Broncos Cowboys game. I'm not sure how much of an MMA guy you are, Matt. Are you much of an MMA guy?
I check in from time to time, but not my lane. I stay in my lane, and that's not one of them. But hit me with the analogy anyway, because I'm sure some of the people in the room are all in on the MMA.
So great. So it's that classic striker grappler matchup, right? Dak Prescott comes in, the high flying offense, Broncos, the Orange Crush defense, the no name guys. And again, it's striker grappler. Who's going to win in this battle? Is it going to be offense? Is it going to be defense? And obviously, Broncos flex their muscle here again in that striker grappler battle. And then you talk about the overall quarterback play. It's in a different way, but people don't want to believe in Indiana Jones for whatever optics they had before. People have some of those same feelings about Bo Nix. He was the sixth quarterback of the six that went in the first round inside the top 12. Sean Payton pounds his chest. I wanted Bo Nix. He was the guy I wanted the whole time. Well, that's what I would say if I was Sean Payton. I picked the sixth guy. Why wouldn't I say that was the guy I would have taken by the first overall pick? That makes a lot of sense. But then you just saw those flashes again to randomly bring up my Jets here. Bo Nix last season at a game where he threw 60 passing yards. You're like, is
Yeah.
this guy really the guy? And then you've had some of these big time moments in big time games. Perhaps finally, we talk about that strength hold, right? Kansas City plays important football when they need to play important football, but perhaps that will include a unique path through, which is the wild card instead of the division. With how Denver has set themselves up, there's a clear case for that to be said. So Sean Payton deserves credit. Obviously, Bo Nix deserves a lot of credit. They're doing it with a bunch of guys. You were naming all the players that caught footballs. Cortland Sutton, he's also
Awesome.
for Denver, which is unbelievable. J.K. Dobbins, they picked him up in the middle of the summer, and all of a sudden he was among the top five league leaders in rushers this season. Now we're finding R.J. Harvey finally getting his feet wet. So, like, you really look at this team and you get really revved up.
You do. RJ Harvey, spoiler alert for those who haven't read the column yet, rookie of the week across the NFL. Just a bust out performance. You get that spoiler here on the Nightcap recap. I promised you we talk Jets, and it's a great night to talk Jets. And I didn't get to see much of this game. My daughter's cheerleading team just missed out on a trip to nationals, but they did an incredible job. And I held her hand the whole way out of the Cure Insurance Arena, head held as high as she could. She was bummed out about it. We got some pizza, some chocolate for dessert, and she's feeling a lot better about herself. A great season for them. It hasn't been a great season for the Jets, but it was a great day for the Jets. And box score surfing as I did with Brees Hall breaking out. You and I talked about Isaiah Davis back in the summer. He was a factor today. But one of the lead sections in the column, I think it was third down. Yeah, third down. We wrote Jets for tomorrow morning. The Justin Fields press conference and the vindication for Justin Fields after being benched, after all of the controversy this week. Paul, you obviously were watching that intently. What were your takeaways and how big of this is this for Justin Fields, not just today, but moving forward?
Yes, he just showed a level. He being Justin Fields showed the level of vulnerability that we are seeing a little bit more from athletes in 2025, but we still don't see it all the time. And he was just incredibly candid. Justin Fields, for those who missed it, a very sped up version of this. Justin Fields has played awful. I'm going to put this game that just happened aside for a second. The previous
Yeah.
two it played not well. Week 6 against Denver, this Broncos team we were just talking about, he had -10 net passing yards. That's the worst in Jets franchise history. And boy, there's been a lot of bad quarterback play. So that's quite an accomplishment, I guess, if you want to put it that way. Last week against Carolina Panthers, he throws 46 passing yards in the first half, and he gets benched at halftime. So things are not trending in the right direction. Early in the week, this past week leading into this Bengals game, Rich Cimini reports that the Jets are going to make a quarterback change from Justin Fields to Tyrod Taylor permanently. So Justin's about to lose his job. He's just performed very bad. And then on top of all that, Woody Johnson comes out of the league meetings in New York City and trashes his quarterback and runs him over with a bus, saying
Unnecessary.
very unnecessary, very out of his way, very. And here's the thing: when Woody Johnson made fun of Zach Wilson a bunch of years ago, he did it during the offseason, and then the Jets 2 months later traded Zach Wilson. There was no more games for Zach Wilson to play. So while it still was very unprofessional, there was like There wasn't the same level of awkwardness. Justin Fields gets made fun of days later because of a cavalcade of scenarios. He ends up starting in the game after getting made fun of by his team owner, which is the most Jets thing to ever happen in history because Tyrod Taylor's knee injury was much more serious than the Jets let on. So Justin Fields was forced to go out there, and he had one of his best games of the season. And after, in the post-game press conference, he talked about crying alone in his closet, laying on the floor. And it was just about everything from the football stuff to spiritually to the Jets not winning a game either. So lack of team success, lack of individual success, and some stuff going on personally for him that it was just a lot, all sort of hitting him like a wave. And what a impressive moment for Justin Fields, considering all the circumstances. No Garrett Wilson on the other
Yeah.
side. No Sauce Gardner. I mean, the Jets were missing pieces all over the place. There's other starting receiver, Josh Reynolds, who doesn't have the same name value. He's placed on IR. He's out for a month. So Justin Fields had absolutely nothing to work with, and he delivered a game, overcame a lot of obstacles and long odds. And now the Jets head into the bye week. We'll see what the quarterback decision is. Justin Fields made it a little bit more difficult for the coaching staff. But I just want to say this in terms of us talking Jets here on the show. A quick side: I'm wearing the jersey right now.
Yeah. That
Uh,
was going to be next. Yeah.
yeah. So, absolutely devastating news we found out this morning, but it happened Saturday night. Nick Mangold, at the age of 41, passed away suddenly from complications due to kidney disease, which is something he revealed 12 days ago. He has been battling since his rookie year back in 2006. This is a situation that he's dealt with for a long time, privately and quietly. No one ever knew about this. And about 12 days ago, he came out and released a statement like, "Hey, I need your help. I need a kidney transplant." I didn't think this was, I knew this was going to happen one day, but I didn't know it was just going to be this soon. 12 days later, Nick Mangold passes away. And again, my thoughts and love are sent out to his wonderful wife, Jennifer, and they have 4 children. And that's who he leaves behind as he leaves this earth. And I got a chance to interview Nick Mangold a year ago. And we were actually, I haven't said this anywhere, but me and Nick Mangold's agents were working on him joining my show regularly. We were
Yeah.
working the details for that to be a thing coming up during the season, and obviously personal things beyond that. He was not able to do so, and now he leaves the earth. It's still, even just talking about it now for this, or writing about it earlier, or doing other shows, like, it still doesn't feel real. But obviously, that is a harsh reality that the Mangold family is dealing with, the Jets community, the Ohio State community. So absolutely crippling, devastating news. But hopefully for the family, there was some small little fleeting moment because several Jet players after the game said they dedicated this performance. They found out about an hour before kickoff. Crazy to think about that. Nick Mangold suddenly passed away. Aaron Glenn made that part of his victory speech in the locker room to tell the guys, and a lot of players said they played for Nick Mangold. So that's a beautiful piece of a very tragic story.
Heartbreaking and tragic. 41 years old and leaving behind such a young family. And I've spoken to him a couple times as well. Just the classiest act that you'll meet in the NFL. A great guy, gracious with his time, hell of a player, Hall of Fame caliber player, all pro. And a really sad day for the Jets family, a heartbreaking day for the Mangold family. Thoughts and prayers go out to his family, to his former teammates, his friends, everyone who cared about and loved him. And it's just another reminder that life is short. To tell the people that you love them, spend time with them, make memories with them, make the best of the time you have, because you just never know.
And that's the other piece I would say, right? So Nick Mangold deals with this privately, basically his entire adult life, and then we find out 12 days ago that he's been battling this. You never know what other people are going through. So
Right.
constantly, you were talking about me and you texting, like, you just, people in your community just constantly reach out to say, "How are you?" And not just
Yeah.
we're in the hallway and we're passing and I ask, "How are you?" It's nothing, and we just keep walking. Like a genuine "How are you?" and try to check on your people in your life, because you just never know what's going on. So that's an important message. And I would also say this from the football perspective. Me and Nick talked about this about a year ago, that he is eligible for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and he's made it through several levels so far. And
Deserves to be there.
I would love
As a player, even before his untimely death, as a player, the resume speaks for itself. You should have a gold jacket posthumously.
Yeah, and that would be great for his family to sort of cherish that. Again, seven-time Pro Bowl or multi-time All-Pro. He followed, actually, from 1998 to 2005, the Jets had Kevin Mawae, who's already in the Pro Football Hall of
Yep.
Fame. And they had 18 years of the best center play in the National Football League. The Jet fans were spoiled, and I would love nothing more than Kevin Mawae and Nick Mangold to be reunited in Canton forever of having their busts next to each other. So Nick continues to go through that process. I believe currently they have a top 50 right now, and he is among that top 50, which is great news for Nick as he continues to go through this process. Again, a jovial personality, the unmistakably gold locks and the burly golden beard, and he was a man of charity. He had a wonderful family, as I mentioned earlier, wife Jennifer and their four children, and man, just a lovable guy that did a lot of charity work too. So again, everyone's hearts are very heavy after that terrible news that came out over the weekend. So, yeah, prayers out to everyone that has been affected again, both in the Jets community, the Ohio State community, and of course, Mangold's friends and family.
Mangold's friends and family, the NFL community, everyone who he touched or was touched by him. It just cathartic day for the Jets in a lot of respects, and I think that it's fitting that Justin Fields had that breakthrough moment on a day like today, with this playing out as the backdrop for football. In terms of the frame of this conversation, wholly insignificant, but very meaningful to Justin Fields, as you could tell after the game, and certainly as a way to hopefully bring some sort of joy to the Mangold family, if even for a moment or two, as you mentioned. Paul, tell the people about your work, because we can read you on Heavy, and we do. And the YouTube channel has been a rocket ship that is an inspiration to all of us in the field. You've crafted an incredible community that if I can even, poke my head in on and say hello to, and give a little cheers to every once in a while, I'm thrilled to. But tell everybody where they can find your work, how they can support you, and all those things.
Yes, so I am a New York Jets guy. I don't know if you could tell. I dabble, but every single day I do New York Jets content at 7:30 in the morning, 7 days a week. It doesn't matter birthdays, bar mitzvahs, this, that, A to Z. I mean, it's always Christmas morning. My kids are trying to open presents. I'm like, damn it, I gotta get some Boy Green Daily in here, people. So there's youtube.com/boygreen25, BOYGREEN25. I'm at Boy Green 25 on all social media, so you guys can follow along a variety of journeys there. I try to do extra interviews. A few days ago, I had Mike Greenberg on to talk about his new book, and we talked some New York Jets. Of course, I do weekly content with the handsome bastard Matt Lombardo, of course, our NFL that are extraordinary here between the hash marks. And it's great to see you a little bit looser, Matt. You're always so professional and well put together and eloquently spoken for. Not that any of that's changed, but it's good to see you get some of the liquid flowing, here late at night.
Dude, it's late at night, and my head is spinning after an NFL Sunday. The action doesn't stop. The text messages keep on flowing. The writing feels endless. But these nightcap recaps have become a lot of fun, and I'm really thrilled that you were able to jump in and join us tonight. And everybody should check out Boy Green Daily on YouTube. Check him out on Heavy. Check him out all across the socials. And tomorrow morning in the column, pretty jam packed. I spent the top section making a lot of phone calls and sending a lot of texts last week to NFL general managers and agents ahead of the NFL trade deadline, kind of setting the scene for what to expect, who might be buying, who might be selling. You might be surprised by some of the things you read at the top from a general manager I spoke to. Also, in depth in the Titans coaching search. Where that stands, where Titans legend Chris Sanders thinks that coaching search could lead, what people inside the league are hearing. We broke down Justin Fields' big moment, Saquon Barkley's return, and of course Tucker Kraft's breakout tonight that we opened this show with. Just a busy day, busy week across the league, and you mentioned the Jets being on the bye. Might not be the worst time to be on the bye week if you're the Jets. If you got the trade deadline coming and you're looking to spark a bidding war off of a Breece Hall 133-yard, 2-touchdown outburst, you want to juice the price a little bit, come back with some picks in the war chest. Might have been a good time for this.
Very much so. Again, because of everything you just said, the Jets played their game here in Week 8. They don't play another game before the trade deadline, so they just have time to sit, marinate, go through decisions. They don't have to split time. While, of course, they'll do some early work, I'm sure, on the Cleveland Browns ahead of that matchup coming out of the bye in Week 10. They're going to have plenty of time to make some of those big boy decisions, whether it's rental players, players on expiring deals like Brees Hall, Quincy Williams, and players of that nature, or it's some of those other big boys on the roster: Will McDonald, Jermaine Johnson, Quinnen Williams, his brother Quincy Williams. Like, man, there's a lot of names floating around for the Jets, but I think you circled the one that is the most attractive at this current moment in terms of both Jets' interest, potentially other teams' interest, and his level of play. Brees Hall had a breakout. He did not have a single touchdown of the season. He scored all three of his touchdowns in the fourth quarter in a wild comeback, the second largest comeback for a New York Jets team in franchise history. The only one bigger was the Monday Night Miracle back at the turn of the century in 2000. So, yeah, the vibes are high, but I think you're right. You get a potential bidding war, increase the price, make it worth the Jets' while. A contender goes all in, push their chips in the middle of the table. Brees Hall may be a good player to do it for.
Could be, Paul. One more time, tell people where they can find your work, how they can support you.
100%. Again, it's youtube.com/boygreen25. Matt described it as a rocket ship. I'm very humbled that it is. The subscribers continue to grow tremendously. A big arbitrary number I just came up with when I began this YouTube journey 5 years ago. So I was like, 10,000. That seems like a round number for subscribers. And we're getting there faster than I could have ever possibly thought. So we're at 81 or 8,200 plus subscribers so far. And
Let's go. Let's go.
Cheers, baby. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm really enjoying the journey, so you guys can hop on along. We do a lot of fun interviews, a lot of fun stuff, and like I said, weekly content, of course, with Matt Lombardo. And hell, he'll be joining us, I say tomorrow morning, but I guess it's today morning. I got to
A
work on
few hours.
Yeah, I got to work on the math for that. We got to get a quick power nap between the hash marks. I'm curious because I will flip pick and prod Matt's brain over here. Ooh, Tennessee Titans head coaching search. Ooh, NFL topics. Ooh, trade deadline. All of that. I'm gonna have to unload from the old Q&A action, so that'll be happening in a handful of hours here. So I can't wait for that, Matt. It's gonna be an absolute treat.
Dude, I'm pumped up. Paul, thanks for staying up late with us. Thanks everybody else for checking in. Make sure you check out Paul on YouTube. Check him out on heavy.com. He's Paul Boy Green Esden. I'm Matt Lombardo. I'll be back with Mike Tanier on Tuesday. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us. Enjoy your Monday and have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.